Hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of Traditionally Speaking. Now this is the very first episode where Joe and I are going to be recording live with our brand new podcast subject, and this time we're going to be talking about the changes and differences between Black Friday deals and Boxing Day sales.
Hello, everybody. Oh, boy, it's so great to be on camera finally, Tom. Now that everybody can see that wonderful face of yours, and you can even see how Tom is starting to follow my footsteps and is getting a little wider and wider each time he comes on. So he may be the next Santa in the UK. So yeah, Boxing Day and of course Black Friday. Wow, boy, I think we got some interesting information, and I think you guys are gonna be just amazed at how big these things are and how big they're coming and what kind of impact they're having on our economies. So now, you want to start out with Boxing Day or you want to start out with Black Friday?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because Boxing Day is a really old tradition here in the UK, and it goes back centuries. But the interesting thing about it is that no one's entirely sure where the term comes from or how it originated. Some people connect it to the old church tradition of the alms box. And this is where there was a box placed in the church where people could donate money throughout the year, and that money would then be given to people who were going through hard times directly after Christmas time.
Yeah, basically what we in America call the poor box.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, that coincided with the St. Stephen's Day, which is traditionally the day after Christmas. The other competing theory is all about the Christmas box, as it's called. And this went back at least until the 18th century, probably earlier than that. And the tradition was that if you were a wealthy person and you had a household staff, like a butler and a maid and people like that, then you would present them with a Christmas box the day after Christmas. And that was your way, as a wealthy person, of thanking them for having looked after you during the Christmas period. And they would often go back to spend time with their families with this Christmas box, which could contain gifts, food, perhaps a Christmas bonus of some kind, and that's what would be given to them on an annual basis. So that's how the Boxing Day tradition got started.
And I gotta say, thanks to Downton Abbey, more and more Americans are finally learning about what Boxing Day is and how that came about. And they show that specifically, where the staff gets rewarded the day after Christmas. So, and yeah, that's kind of where we learned about it here on this side of the pond.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it has become, over here certainly, one of the big retail dates in the calendar. And there's a number of reasons why that is. Primarily it's because if you have been out and about at Christmas time, perhaps you've had relatives coming to visit, you've had your big Christmas dinner, you've watched lots of TV, then by the time you get to Boxing Day, it may well be that you're thinking about getting out for a bit of fresh air. You just want to have a break from it all. And this is a great way of doing it. It also means, of course, for shops, for retail outlets, it's a great way of them getting rid of surplus stock. They may have a few loss leaders, and they want to try and get that interest up. So queues will form outside very early, and people are invited to come in, browse, and probably buy things they never even knew they wanted.
Typical. We call that the after Christmas sale. Now, how big is Boxing Day as far as like sales economy to your country and stuff? Does that really make a big difference, or is it kind of like after the fact?
Yeah, traditionally it was a really big day for retailers. I mean, it was a really fantastic time if you had a particular promotion that you wanted to really get out there, if you wanted to get people excited after Christmas, perhaps it was something they hadn't got for Christmas but really wanted, and this was a chance to get it at a discount price. It was all very, very useful from that point of view, and an excellent way of making a bit of post-Christmas profit if you were a retailer. And of course, it led into the January sales as well. So there was that extra boost. It was kind of the starting pistol for the post-Christmas sales rush. Now, the only downside about that, of course, was the fact that as the online sales boom has started, that has all changed. People are more likely to stay at home now or use maybe a mobile device to place their orders that way.
That's had a major, and I mean ginormous, impact on, you know, shopping in this country, as well as the cyber side of that, which I'm going to obviously touch base on when I talk about, you know, Black Friday sales. But yeah, and that just is one of those things. I think we're going to continue to see an evolution as we go by. I mean, more and more stores and companies that have brick and mortar buildings are having a harder and harder time because people are becoming more and more used to ordering stuff on their phone or their laptop or their desktop. So, but yeah, and I gotta say, Mary and I are certainly two of those people. I mean, my God, all the things we bought online this year alone has been far more than we ever did before, and you know, we're doing more shopping as a result of it. But anyway, but you were talking about Boxing Day, so please continue.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic way of, you know, finding things you never even knew you wanted. And I'm not sure that things like physical media are on the wane. It's more difficult to find music on CD or, you know, films on DVD or Blu-ray. That more and more people are turning to the online aspect of it. But, you know, if you like your physical items, then there's no reason why people are, for instance, would go looking for furniture, they go looking for appliances, you know, they go looking for all kinds of things that you might not necessarily associate with the festive season. But, you know, you get a fantastic deal, or even the perception of a fantastic deal, you know, which might actually not be as good a deal as it looks, but, you know, it's certainly profitable for the retailer. So, yeah, for that reason, it has become a kind of a fun tradition. But it is interesting that some people are getting tired of the crush. You know, they don't want hundreds and hundreds of people around them, or being stampeded over like a standing lamp that's been reduced by $5 or £5. And consequently, you know, tastes are changing and practices are changing, and you know, more and more people are having a look online from the comfort of their own home.
Well, and you know, we're seeing, you know, as I said, an evolution and a lot of change taking place with the Black Friday thing, for the same reason. You know, like I mean, it used to be you'd see videos all over the place of people literally practically killing each other to get into Walmart or get into Penny's or get into Home Depot, whatever it was. And I think because of that, the retailers themselves have started, rather than just having it on one day or even doing it on Thanksgiving, which a lot of stores tried, and then people didn't care for that as much, so they just kept it to Friday. But now they're starting to spread the sales, and like Walmart and Home Depot start in October, you know, to start doing their Black Friday sales, so to kind of spread that crowd out so that not everybody comes crushing in on that first day. And of course, that has led to a huge boom, enormous on the cyber side. You know, as I mentioned, it's tough for brick and mortar stores to do anything now, but it's become so easy to order online and through e-commerce, and the numbers are just, oh my God, staggering. I mean, in 2023, Adobe found that the online spending just on Thanksgiving Day reached $5.6 billion, which was a 5.5% increase over the year prior. But Black Friday still surpassed that by 7.5% and did 9.8 billion, almost $10 billion on the Black Friday sales. And even that wasn't the highlight. The biggest thing was Cyber Monday, the Monday when everybody gets their online sales. That sucker grew another 9.6% over 2022 to 12.4 billion with a B dollars on that day alone.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just incredible.
These are staggering figures, they really are. And, it certainly makes you think about how the retail sector's changing, over time.
Very much so. And, I mean, in spite of the large online traffic and transactions and everything, I mean, even the in-stores did increase like 2 to 3%. So people were still shopping in store. It's just that online just took off and never even slowed down and it's going to continue to grow and keep going. And it's also interesting what is selling during that time. I mean, apparel, luggage, surprisingly, luggage and anything travel related really grew hugely last year. Footwear industry. So a lot of the people that used to buy it, again, in store are now buying it online and just getting it there. Sporting goods, toys, games, all of that went up pretty well. It went up like 5% over 2022 in total sales, and a good portion of that, and that was after it had a 3% drop the year previous. So, things, books and that kind of thing, all of that has increased. Barnes and Noble did exceptionally well last year versus the year prior. So you're getting renewed interest, I should say, in toys, games, and books and that kind of thing, which is nice to see. But again, online is driving that. So more so than people going to Barnes and Noble, they're just ordering it online.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit then about the origins of Black Friday, because obviously over here in the UK, Thanksgiving isn't a widely held celebration. It's something, to be honest, that if you see it at all over here, it tends to be American students who are on exchange programs or perhaps studying at a UK university that have celebrated it, and as a result, we get some of the traditions. But Black Friday hasn't really caught on. Really, there have been attempts by larger American-owned corporations like Walmart, who own the Asda supermarket chain over here, and Amazon, to really get it established in the UK sales market. But interestingly, the term Black Friday before that was a term that was really popularised by the emergency services in the UK, because if you were perhaps an ambulance driver or a nurse or a policeman, then you tended to find that Black Friday referred to the Friday directly before Christmas, because that's when office parties were most common, and there was more chance of people drinking heavily and perhaps accidentally injuring themselves. So that's where the term was popularised over here. Of course, that's all changed now, thanks to these big retailers.
Yeah, but I bet you they still have Black Friday over there for that very reason. We don't assess that to any one day. We just do it all during the holidays. So it's all black. We got to be careful of those on the road. So, and luckily, because that has been cracking down more and more, you're seeing that those numbers of accidents and serious drunk driving and that kind of thing go down, which I couldn't be more pleased about. But as far as our origin, as you said, we always celebrated Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving has traditionally kicked off the Christmas holiday. I mean, we have exactly or close to a month between Thanksgiving and Christmas Day. And that's when it's kind of like the green flag goes down and everybody hits the gas and everybody takes off and starts shopping. So Black Friday grew out of that tradition. And as I said, more recently, some stores have even tried to open Thanksgiving Day and even kickstart that. And now, as I mentioned earlier, they're starting to spread it out more towards the beginning of November. But yeah, traditionally, it was always the day after Thanksgiving was the time to go out and start doing your Christmas shopping. Yeah. As people have learned now, you can shop for Christmas in January and just keep going through the year. So pick up a little here, a little there. And again, I think the cyber industry has helped that, because it's like, oh, that would be a cool gift for Uncle Frank, and I think I'm going to pick it up now and then just put it aside. So as opposed to walking through a store and going, what the heck am I going to get Uncle Frank this year? So, that does help kind of take some of the impetus of trying to get it all done in a month. So, but it sure makes it fun right after Thanksgiving that everybody races out and starts, really celebrating Christmas at that time. That's when all the lights come up and, all the decorations go up, and, it kind of still sets that tone as being the beginning of the Christmas season. And of course, Santa appears in the mall.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's an important point, actually. I think Boxing Day, like Black Friday, they've become so synonymous with sales and with retail. It's important to point out there are all kinds of other traditions related to Boxing Day over here. Some people like to go out for a walk with their family, or sometimes by themselves. Generally, it's considered to be the time that people get creative with what's left of their turkey. So if you've had a big turkey dinner on Christmas Eve, it's perhaps time for turkey sandwiches, turkey curry, any other kind of turkey invention, but also, of course, events. Quite famously in the UK and in other places like Australia, there are all kinds of sporting events. It could be football, or soccer, as it's called in the US. It could be cricket. It could be rugby union. There's all sorts of different sports that take place. And the beauty of it is, of course, sometimes that could be local clubs where people just want to get out of the house for a while and get involved. Or it could be watching sporting professionals on TV, getting into the spirit of, a special sporting event or an exhibition event for the Christmas period. So, there's all sorts of other things to look forward to as well.
Yeah, and we do that. We do kind of the same thing here, especially with football. We have some particular teams, and I'm not going to mention them here, but every Thanksgiving they play these teams on Thanksgiving. So you have football games to watch while the turkey is roasting or barbecuing or whatever, frying, But yeah, again, some traditions have kind of sprouted over the years. And I can't remember exactly when that all started, but all I know is you get into a tradition, and it's like it's all around the Thanksgiving holiday, which is kind of neat. So yeah, makes it more of an important holiday.
Which is a really important point, which is to ask the listeners, what are your favourite traditions, whether it's Boxing Day or Black Friday? How do you like to celebrate after Christmas time, or indeed after Thanksgiving? Would you like to tell us a little bit more about what you do or what your family does? Because there's one way to do that, and the best way is
go to our website and leave comments below this video. Tell us what you do on for Boxing Day and for Thanksgiving. Let's get a war going. Let's find out what, who's for Boxing Day, who's for Thanksgiving, and what do you do that makes it special for you? I'd love to read some comments from people on that. I mean, I bet you we could get some fun things going.
So if you would like to leave us some details, drop us a line and some comments on our website, you can find us at traditionally-speaking.com.
Yep, and believe me, we love hearing from you, and we love to know what your traditions are. I mean, do you avoid shopping altogether? Do you do it all in June and July? So speaking of July, boy, I'll tell you, happy Christmas in July. Now that we're through the 4th of July, now it's going to be the Christmas in July, which is why I'm kind of sporting this shirt now, because this is the summer wear. This is a little bit cooler, so makes it a little more comfortable for being out in 90-degree heat.
Well, I must say that's never a problem we have to deal with here in Scotland. The traditional Scottish summer weather is cold and wet, or slightly warmer and wet.
Yeah, you guys have an entirely different climate out there. So, and here we're all sweltering. I mean, across the country, and in fact, Houston is facing a tropical storm right now. So, never a dull moment in the U.S. So, but I got to tell you, this has been a fun topic, and I'm glad you brought up the boxing game, because a lot of people ask me, what is it with that? And you explained it better than I can, but now I've got some better ways to explain it. So thank you for that. So, and again, this is so much fun. I'm so glad we're finally on YouTube and doing this. And again, we'd love to hear from all of you, and you get to tell us what you think of us being on video now.
Yeah, thanks very much for tuning in, everybody. I really do hope that you'll get in touch and tell us what the most surprising thing was that you bought at the Boxing Day sales, or perhaps in a Black Friday sale. Because let's face it, if you're looking for a bargain, and sometimes an unexpected purchase is sometimes the most unexpected things that will come up. So I really do hope.
Most gratifying. The most gratifying gifts are sometimes the surprise gifts. So. Yeah. And if you like our podcast, traditionally speaking, don't forget Extremis Publishing. Tom's podcast is also on YouTube now. And of course, you can also join me at Behind the Scenes with Santa and Mrs. Claus. My wife, Mary, and I put out two podcasts a month. So be sure to check out our other podcasts as well.
Yeah. So thanks very much, everybody, for joining us for what has been our first ever live video recording for Traditionally Speaking. I hope there's going to be plenty more to come. So thanks very much for having taken the time to join us today as well. And it's been great talking with you.
We'll look forward to the next one. And thank you, Tom. Appreciate all your hard work and information.
Thanks so much, everyone. Hope you'll tune in again soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.